So there's only one thing that I like and love more than that song, and that is the gentleman that is sitting across the screen from me. I am proud to welcome my son, Coach Jake Nudelberg, to the show today. Coach, I am excited that it is finally time for SEC football.
Of football. Of real football, I should say.
I'm so excited.
Real college football.
So excited you got to carve a little time out. Today is Friday. It is the day before game day. You were just saying you got your plane assignment. So I'm glad you're here. There's so much good, but I have a list of questions that I want to share with my audience. Number one is, how excited are you to have football?
Oh, hold on. We got to restart.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You're good.
Well, that was fine.
All right. Can we just edit that out?
Yeah. Okay.
Can we edit it out?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm so excited to that it's football. What's going on, Jake Nudelberg?
It's, you know what? It feels like a normal Friday again in my life. And thankfully, I was stressed all week and I was happy every minute of it, running around, getting things ready for Saturday, long list of things, dealing with a lot of change, trying to make it the same as it's always been for the players. But it's obviously a very different time and era that we live in now. So it's cool to adapt and try to get things done in a different way and still get the same result that you want.
So I've had you on the show before and we've shared some great conversation. This one's different because it's go time. You've been through the testing, the practicing, the sterilizing. Give the audience a sense of what it's been like. What's the mood of the team as you get ready? In a couple hours, you'll be on a plane.
It's been really difficult. To be honest, we've every step of the way we've done something different than we normally do. So off-season training has been different. Practice has been different. The way we meet has been different. How we eat, when we eat, what we do is completely different. And so in a world where I'm used to in the last 4 years, I could tell you where I was going to be and what I was going to be doing on every day for the entire year. And so for our players, it's been extremely tough. For our staff, it's been extremely tough to continuously adapt on a daily basis and still execute at a very high level. But the team has been awesome. They've responded great. Everyone's excited. Everyone's ready to play. Yesterday was perfect Thursday, and it was the best practice we've had probably the entire time. So you walk out, and our kicker hit a 67-yard field goal in practice yesterday to start practice. So everyone was juiced, bouncing around. It started to feel normal again. So it gets me even a little giddy talking about it and looking forward to playing tomorrow. But we leave in, 6 hours now. Will's up. We'll do a quick walkthrough here, some meetings. We land, we'll eat quick, and then we play at 12 o'clock tomorrow. So we're up at 6 a.m. ready to roll.
And then you play and then right back on the plane, right home.
Oh, yeah, we play. So our schedule really includes Fridays are meetings / walkthrough days and then travel day. So for half the day, players will come in about an hour and meet for 4 hours and then have a walkthrough after, a quick walkthrough. And then it's quick shower. We suit up. The staff will wear suits on the plane. Players have like jumpsuits that they wear. Immediately on the bus, to the plane. The plane takes off immediately straight from Gainesville Airport. We land. We're going to Tupelo, Mississippi. So we never really stay in the town of the game just to keep the team away and stuff like that. So we'll land immediately, go to team dinner, have a quick meeting, wake up in the morning, and like I said, have breakfast, quick walkthrough, and we're at the game before you know it.
So
right after, back on the plane.
So we've been living it for the last 7 months in a world full of indecisiveness, really hard to not pay attention to the distractions. That's one of the enemies of football, concentration. So how's the team reacted? How have you reacted to all of this stuff?
Well, it's interesting because people will probably think of a distraction as, COVID is the number one. But, I mean, there's so many things that have gone on in the last 4 weeks between, Black Lives Matters movement, which our team has taken very seriously. And we have a huge amount of initiatives that we're ongoing and making sure that the public is aware of our stance on it as a team, and players made it a big priority. So that was a distraction. It's just something that takes your focus away from football. Is anything a distraction? So players have had that. They've had COVID. They're back in school. Most of them have transitioned to online classes, and most of them have not done that. They're doing tutors virtually. So like I said, every single thing that a player does on a daily basis is different. Where they eat, what they like, everything is different. And so for us to come out on the Thursday before the game and execute the way we did as a coaching staff, you have to be super thrilled, that the kids are locked in. But also it's helped us because kids aren't going out, kids aren't really hanging out with people. It's almost like a condensed bubble of our own, but we just created it, It's look, there's 5 months you need to lock in, and from whenever we got back in July to December, don't do anything. Focus on school, get your grades, and let's play some football. But because we were away from it for so long, the kids have no problem with it. They want to play. You see it in the Big Ten. You see it in the SEC. You see it in the Pac-12. Players are getting their voices heard now, and people are listening to them, administrators, coaches, teachers. And so it's good to see them get on that side. But they want to play, and they're ready, and it should be really fun tomorrow.
Just hearing you, I'm so excited. So, all of the talk for years and years about SEC football. Your brother was on yesterday, and he talked about, even though he's coached all over the place, there's nothing like SEC football. You're responsible.
Do you know the slogan for the SEC?
I do not.
It just means more.
Wow. So go deep, if you would, about what you see, what you expect this conference to produce. There are still high expectations for the Gators, but you always have Alabama. You always have Georgia.
In my personal opinion, we play the hardest schedule, or SEC opponents play the hardest schedule on a yearly basis. I'm biased. I did grow up a Florida State fan, but I will say the SEC is the toughest of the conferences. And so now you really start looking around. Well, we're playing 10 SEC games, which we normally only play 8. It's usually 8 with 4 other non-conference, and the cupcakes are involved where we blow a team out by 50. So it's really on a weekly basis. We have to be way more focused now than we've ever been, because you usually play South Carolina and it's a big game, but then you play Northwest State, and the players can have a letdown. So there is no letdowns in this league right now. You're playing 10 games, which is different than most conferences. The ACC is playing 10 ACC games, but the Big Ten's only playing 8. The Pac-12 is only playing 7. Yeah. So, and an SEC game is a war. Our first 4 opponents, off the top of my head, is Ole Miss, South Carolina, and then LSU and Texas A&M. So those are 4 perennial SEC teams.
Incredible. Right.
And then we go to Missouri, and then we get a bye week, and we get Georgia, and then we get Arkansas, and it's just never ending. So I think it'll keep the guys focused on a weekly basis, which will actually help us instead of the up and downs of, okay, this is a big week. We got to get our confidence level and how we do things perfect, because you want to say that you do everything the same every week, but there's obviously different feelings when you go into a certain week. How we practice in Georgia isn't how we practice against Northwest State. And it should be, but it's not a reality. Right. So this one puts added pressure on them to show up on a daily basis, execute, and do the things that they need to be successful, which I think is a great challenge for us. So I'm excited.
I love it. So, certainly up until this point, I think the quality of football on the field has not been great.
No.
Surprised. It's been crummy football. There's been a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
You got Notre Dame, half the team is sick. So what should we expect to see tomorrow when it's you against Ole Miss? I don't really know much about Ole Miss, but what should we expect?
Yeah. So it's really interesting because usually you feel very prepared about an opponent when you go. And we feel prepared, but Lane Kiffin is the new coach at Ole Miss. They have a completely new coaching staff and have really revamped the roster between transfers, new recruits, trying to put their own flair on it. So it's a guessing game in week 1. So there's another added element that we have to prepare for. There's going to be 17,000 people in the stands, which the Gators have never played in front of 17,000 people. And it's not a reality other than Vanderbilt maybe. So it'll be interesting. You don't have the crowd there to give you the juice, and they don't have it. And so it's making yourself be mentally stronger than them on every play and doing your job. And I think with us being in a system that, we've had a quarterback that's been in the system for 3 years, players have been here for a while, we should have the experience, over them. But it's Saturday football in the SEC. So you got to show up, do your job, and play your hardest, and anybody can win. It's the best part of the game.
So I want to focus on the quarterback position on both sides of the ball. Kyle, this is really his year. There's a lot of expectations. What's the thought there? What do you think we're going to see on the field? And grown every year, so we expect to see something different.
He's probably one of the best stories in college football. It started, whatever the stat is, started 2 games, his high school career, had started none at Florida, comes in against Kentucky, wins the game, wins the job, takes us to 11 wins, Orange Bowl, right? So the story is great. The kid is an even better human being. I mean, the kid is the same human being he was when he was a freshman, and nobody knew who he was, and he's now the star quarterback on draft boards. Like, the same kid says hello to everybody, talks to everybody in the facility. So it's good to see, when your leader and your star player are very nice and open, it sets a culture around the team. And he's ready. I mean, he's locked in. We've given him control of the offense to make checks, to make calls, so to run the show out there. And then we have another quarterback, Emery, who's also played a bunch of games, and he'll have a bunch of packages tomorrow. And then on a personal note, I'm friends with the quarterback for the other team.
That's why I wanted
I'd sent him a text, this week, and said, I'll see you on Saturday, with a little handshake emoji and some laughing faces. So it's fun. It's always, especially in the SEC, you know a lot of people around the league. So on a weekly basis, you're playing your friends. There's some good trash talk, and I'm really excited. And even talking about it more makes me a little bit more giddy. But I'm sure everybody is excited,
So it's got to kind of be neat to have a friend on the other side of the ball. I know there's stories, brothers who play against brothers and fathers that coach against their sons and yada, yada, yada. But same thing holds true with a friend. You sort of hope he does well, but not well enough to beat the game.
So it was interesting. A couple years ago, there was a story where there was a coach on the other sideline that I knew, and I won't say any names or teams, but I knew they probably needed to beat us to keep their jobs. Like it was that situation, and talking to him before the game and everything. And he's like, yeah, we just really need this one. And I was like, on my side, I'm like, well, I'm really torn. Like, I don't want you to lose your job, but I also know we put in a lot of work to win this game, And I think that's how I look at football now, is I think of staffs and families and the constant moving that goes on, So you don't really want anyone to lose in this profession, but unfortunately, at the end of the day, somebody wins and somebody loses. So
good for you. So I'll ask you a 2-parted question. What are the names we should be looking out for on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball? And can you give us an update on our friend that's playing with the Jets?
Oh, yeah, for sure. So on offense, who should you be aware of? You should be aware of 84, tight end, who's an absolute freak of nature. Number 1, Kadarius Toney, is a go-to player. Trayvon Grimes from St. Thomas is a star player for us. We got 3 running backs deep. We rotate a lot. We have good mixture of young and old guys. That'll play, and we'll rotate a lot. That'll be fresh, a lot of bodies, a lot of looks, a lot of different things we're doing on offense. So it should be exciting. We should put up a lot of points. I think everybody loves points around here. And then our guy with the Jets, Michael Pirine, had his first NFL game on Saturday, had 3 carries for 17 yards. And I just read an article that said they're going to give him a bigger load this week with Le'Veon Bell out and Frank Gore being old, So it's exciting, to know a guy who's excelling. I think last night during the game, there were 3 Gators that I had, been a part of and coached starting for the Jags defense last night. So there's Gators everywhere, and we're super talented. We'll have another 10 guys go to the NFL this year, So that's the best part about being at Florida, is we usually have the best talent, and they're great guys, and we're ready to roll. It really is. We're ready to go. We're tired of practicing each other, ready to hit somebody else.
So I will tell you that I think the most exciting time I've had at a sporting event was last year when Pirine came into the end zone. Right there. I mean, running out of this tunnel with the team was amazing.
I tell people I'm pretty sure I blacked out in that moment. Like I went like 100 yards in a difference and didn't really know how I got there. But it's another year, another opportunity to have an amazing moment. I think every year there's definitely been a defining play that I remember. Like my freshman year, we won the SEC at LSU. My second year, we had the Hail Mary to Tyree Cleveland.
Which was pass was insane.
Insane. It was Felipe. So I've been a part of just an amazing amount of moments and super blessed to still be here and still doing what I love. Really, I mean, a month ago, we didn't know if we'd be here, when the Big Ten canceled and all that stuff. There's been just a lot of uncertainty, so we're finally here. Everybody tested negative yesterday for the third time this week. So we're ready to roll. We're doing it the right way. All the protocols are met. We did our part, so we get to put on a show tomorrow. So
will you see Felipe this year? I mean, is he on?
We do. So Arkansas comes. So we weren't originally supposed to play Arkansas. So Arkansas and Texas A&M, and that's an unfortunate situation, honestly. Because he went to Arkansas knowing that he wouldn't see Florida. So that creates a storyline, but a revenge game, and we love the kid, and it'll be an awesome battle later in the year.
He's a good guy and probably a victim of circumstance, but that's sports how it is. So in our final minute, because first of all, thank you. This has been amazing, and anybody who's watching this, it's
always love to be a part of the show.
It's a real update on quality football knowledge. What would you want to offer the audience from a personal perspective of a guy who's in your final year? What's in your brain? What are you feeling? What are your emotions? And what's next for Jake Nudelberg?
It's funny. I actually had this conversation with somebody a couple nights ago. I'm enjoying everything. The yellings, the ass chewings. Really, I got ass chewed yesterday, and in my head I went, good. I missed that. There's fire, there's competitiveness, and there's stress again. Makes it feel like it's normal, and I'm just enjoying it. I'm enjoying every minute, every late night, every film session I watch. Who knows what'll come next year, where I'll end up, or what I'll be doing. So it's just enjoying the ride, and I think that's another thing that COVID made me realize is you just don't know anymore. I mean, every day there's something new on the news, some new virus, some new shooting, and so just enjoy the ride that you're on, every step of the way, and keep a positive attitude. I think that I used to get the stress would get to me certain years, and I've just refused to let it get to me this year. Just enjoy it, and happy to be here and happy to be doing it, and not sitting on my couch watching someone else do it. So,
well, I am super proud of you, as you know, I always am. I am super excited about SEC and Gator football coming back for us to view. So it's a Saturday at noon. Last thing, I know you're a gigantic Heat fan, and I thought maybe you'd be you're a lifer. You've stuck with them. You've told me over and over, watch out for this team. So I'll give you in the last minute or so here, I'll give you a chance to talk about the Heat, and then we're
a lot of late nights watching Tyler Johnson and Dion Waiters be our go-to scorers. But no, they embody what every sports team wants to be. I mean, especially at the NFL or at the NBA level and the NFL level, you don't see organizations operate at this level where players come in, they're so tight-knit, they love each other, they work for a cause. That's much more a college vibe. You buy into the team culture, whereas in professional sports, it's more players that, their personalities are what wins teams, not really the organizations. So it's been fun to watch Pat Riley, Eric Spoelstra, everything they've done, the players they've brought in, Tyler Hero. It's another thing, just enjoying the ride, enjoying every minute. Game 5 tonight, there will be a watch party in the hotel. I mean, everyone knows I'm the Heat fan on the team, so everyone comes up to me, are the Heat going to win tonight? I hope so, so I'm definitely known as the Heat fan on staff, so everyone knows I'm in a better mood when they win.
And you deserve that because you're not a bandwagon guy.
No.
You've been on this from the start of the season. You said I
watched summer league games of Tyler Hero. That's how invested I was in this team. So I really do feel rewarded. So I said I feel like I'm playing, and I have nothing to do with the team, and I think they give that feeling. I think that's how all Heat fans feel right now. Is we're a part of it. We're back. See how far we can take it.
Well, I'll be rooting for you. I wish you were here so I can give you a hug. But you go grab us a win and go Gators.
Amen. Love you guys. Take it easy.
See ya.